Welcome back, basketball fans, hoop junkies, and Philippine Basketball Association aficionados to the most comprehensive, in-depth, and hard-hitting basketball analysis channel on the internet. Today, we are staring down the barrel of one of the most unexpected, landscape-shifting, and culturally significant pieces of news to hit the PBA in recent memory. We are not just talking about a simple roster move or a standard contract extension. We are talking about a fundamental shift in the relationship between a foreign talent and the heartland of Philippine hoops. The headline screaming across the sports pages, dominating the airwaves, and setting social media message boards on absolute fire today is this: Rain or Shine Elasto Painters' dominant import, the physical marvel and tactical linchpin, Jaylen Johnson, has reportedly declared his intention to live in the Philippines permanently. Let that sink in for just a moment. In a league where imports are so often treated as temporary hired guns, passing through the archipelago on short-term visas, playing out a single grueling conference, grabbing their paycheck, and catching the first flight out to the next lucrative gig in Europe, the Middle East, or the rest of Asia, Jaylen Johnson is planting his flag in Manila soil. He is looking at the culture, the incredibly passionate and demanding fan base, the grueling, unapologetic physicality of the PBA, and he is looking at his team, and he is saying, "This is home." This is a monumental development that echoes the legends of the past. When we think of imports who truly embraced the Philippines, who assimilated into the fabric of the society and the basketball ecosystem, we think of names etched in absolute granite. We think of Norman Black, who arrived as a high-flying scorer and stayed to become one of the most decorated and respected coaching minds in the history of Philippine basketball. We think of Sean Chambers, the resident import of the Alaska Milkmen in the 1990s, who became synonymous with the triangle offense and the winning culture of that decade. More recently, we look at Justin Brownlee, the beloved resident hero of Barangay Ginebra, who took the ultimate step of naturalization to don the Gilas Pilipinas jersey and represent the country on the international stage, hitting that legendary, immortalized shot against China in the Asian Games. Now, Jaylen Johnson is looking to etch his own name into that exclusive, revered list. He is signaling to the Rain or Shine management, to the brilliant and famously demanding head coach Yeng Guiao, and to every single fan wearing an Elasto Painters jersey, that he is not here for a brief vacation. He is fully invested. This news comes at a time when Rain or Shine is experiencing a spectacular resurgence. They have just wrapped up the elimination round of the Commissioner's Cup with a phenomenal win-loss card, capping it off with a dominant, high-octane victory over Titan Ultra at the Ninoy Aquino Stadium, securing their spot in the upper echelon of the standings. But that is only half of the story we are breaking down today. Because as the elimination round dust settles, the league office has officially released the shortlists for the most prestigious individual awards in the conference, the best player of the conference, and the best import of the conference. The battle lines have been drawn. The statistical points have been tabulated. The narratives have been cemented. We are looking at a BPC race that features the absolute titans of the local game, the generational talents who carry their franchises on their shoulders night in and night out. And we are looking at a best import race that is shaping up to be a historic clash of styles, featuring global basketball phenoms, returning legends, and of course, the man of the hour, Jaylen Johnson himself. This dual announcement, Johnson's life-altering decision to move to the Philippines and the release of the candidates for the league's highest individual honors, creates a perfect storm of basketball drama. It forces us to ask massive questions. What does Johnson's commitment mean for the future of the Rain or Shine franchise? Does it give them the psychological edge they need to navigate the treacherous waters of the playoffs? How will the voters weigh statistical dominance against team success in the BPC race? And in a conference where we have seen an influx of incredible foreign talent, including former NBA players with undeniable pedigrees, who truly deserves the title of Best Import? We are going to dissect every single angle of these stories. We are going to look at the numbers, the advanced metrics, the eye test, the locker room dynamics, and the historical context. We are leaving absolutely no stone unturned because that is what this beautiful game deserves, and that is what you, the fans, deserve. So, grab your coffee, settle into your seats, and prepare for the ultimate deep dive into the state of the PBA. Let us begin by dissecting the absolute magnitude of Jaylen Johnson's decision to establish a life in the Philippines. To truly understand why this matters so much, we have to look at the unique ecosystem of the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters. This is a franchise that does not operate like the traditional behemoths of the PBA. They are not backed by the infinite resources of the massive conglomerates that can simply buy championships through overwhelming talent acquisition. Rain or Shine is an independent team. They rely on incredibly astute drafting, rigorous player development, and a culture of absolute, unwavering toughness instilled by their legendary architect, Coach Yeng Guiao. Coach Yeng is famous, some might say infamous, for his fiery demeanor, his demanding system, and his absolute refusal to coddle superstars. He demands maximum effort, defensive intensity, and a willingness to share the basketball. Many imports, even highly talented ones, have come into the Rain or Shine system and absolutely crumbled under the pressure. They could not handle the equal opportunity offense. They could not handle the blistering tirades during timeouts. They simply wanted to get their 30 points, take their shots, and go home. Jaylen Johnson is the absolute antithesis of that stereotype. He is a phenomenal talent, yes. We saw that in his recent explosion against Titan Ultra, where he posted an incredibly efficient 31 points, grabbed 11 rebounds, dished out 7 assists, and swatted away 2 blocks. But what makes Johnson special, and what clearly makes him love playing in Manila, is his willingness to operate within the system. He understands that for Rain or Shine to win, Jaylen Johnson needs his touches. Santi Santillan needs to operate in the post. Adrian Nocum needs to slash to the basket. Johnson does not demand the ball every single possession. He demands that the team plays the right way. By deciding to live in the Philippines, Johnson is doing something profound. He is essentially telling the local players, the young guys trying to find their footing in the professional ranks, that he is their brother. He is not a temporary boss. He is a permanent fixture. This builds a level of locker room chemistry and unbreakable trust that you simply cannot manufacture in a 2-month span. When things get tough in a brutal best-of-7 playoff series against a powerhouse like San Miguel or Ginebra, when the opposing crowd is deafening and the referees are letting them play physical, that trust is what prevents a team from fracturing. Knowing that your import is deeply rooted in your country, that he understands your struggles and your culture, elevates the entire squad. It turns an import from a statistical contributor into an emotional anchor. Now, let us pivot our attention to the war room of the PBA, the race for the best player of the conference. The BPC award is the ultimate barometer of local dominance. It asks the question, who is the single most impactful Filipino player in this specific tournament? Every single conference, the conversation inevitably, and rightfully, starts with the Kraken himself, Mar Fajardo of the San Miguel Beer Men. We are running out of adjectives in the English language to describe Fajardo's dominance. He is a multi-time MVP, a player who has completely warped the geometry of the PBA court for over a decade. Opposing coaches do not build game plans to stop Mar Fajardo, they build game plans to merely survive him. Even as he gets older, his footwork, his unbelievable touch around the rim, and his absolute mastery of rebounding angles make him a perpetual candidate. When you look at San Miguel's success, it is always built on the foundational rock of Fajardo in the paint. But the beauty of the current PBA landscape is the emergence of perimeter players and dynamic forwards who are challenging the big man's monopoly on the award. We have to look at the incredible performances of the guards. Players who are dictating the pace, dissecting defenses in the pick and roll, and hitting incredibly clutch shots. The BPC race is not just about raw numbers, it is about narrative. It is about who lifted their team when it mattered most. We have to consider players who are carrying immense offensive loads for their respective franchises, navigating double teams, and still finding ways to win games. The voters are going to have a seemingly impossible task. Do you reward the unstoppable force in the paint, or do you reward the dynamic engine on the perimeter? And that seamlessly transitions us into the absolute dogfight that is the best import of the conference race. This conference, the PBA essentially opened the floodgates. By lifting or adjusting height limits, we have seen an influx of massive, incredibly skilled foreign players, leading to one of the most exciting and diverse import crops in the history of the league. Leading the statistical points race, and generating an unbelievable amount of global media attention, is Bol Bol of the TNT Tropang Giga. Bol Bol's arrival in the PBA was a seismic event. We are talking about a player with NBA experience, standing over 7 feet tall, with the ball-handling skills of a guard and the shooting touch of a pure marksman. He is a walking mismatch. He has been leading all foreign players in scoring, dropping near 40 points a night, while simultaneously anchoring the defense with over 4 blocks a game. Every time he steps onto the floor, he is a highlight reel waiting to happen. He forces opposing teams into absolute panic mode, completely disrupting traditional defensive schemes because there is simply no one on the opposing roster who can replicate his combination of size and skill. However, being the best import is about more than just eye-popping individual statistics. It is about translating those statistics into wins and navigating the unique, grueling style of Philippine basketball. TNT has had a roller coaster conference, and Bol Bol, despite his brilliance, has faced scrutiny regarding his demeanor and consistency. The PBA is a profoundly physical league. Referees let a lot of contact go, and local enforcers will test an import's mental fortitude every single night. The true test for Bol Bol is not whether he can score, but whether he can lead his team through the absolute meat grinder of the playoffs. And right on his heels in the statistical race, and arguably leading the race in terms of pure winning pedigree, is the resident legend, Justin Brownlee of Barangay Ginebra. It almost feels redundant to praise Justin Brownlee at this point. He is not just an import, he is an institution. He is a member of the Philippine Basketball Pantheon. Brownlee doesn't need to score 40 points a night to dominate a game. He dominates through his unbelievable basketball IQ, his preternatural ability to make the right read, his unselfishness, and his absolute, stone-cold killer instinct in the fourth quarter. When Tim Cone needs a basket, a stop, or a calming presence amidst the chaos, he looks at Brownlee. Brownlee knows the PBA inside and out. He knows the opposing coaches, he knows the tendencies of the local stars, and he knows exactly how to win in this league. You can never, ever count out Justin Brownlee when the awards season rolls around. And then, right in the thick of this elite conversation, we find Jaylen Johnson. He might not have the overwhelming height of Bol Bol or the decade-long resume of Justin Brownlee, but Johnson represents the absolute perfect fit for his specific team. His position in the best import race is a testament to efficiency and systemic integration. He is the engine that makes the rain or shine machine run at peak performance. When voters look at the Best Import Award, they have to consider context. Johnson has elevated a team without traditional superstars into a legitimate championship contender. His impending residency in the Philippines only adds to his phenomenal narrative. This conference is shaping up to be a historic chapter in the PBA's storied history. The collision of these incredible storylines, Johnson's commitment, the battle of the local titans, and the clash of the global imports, guarantees that the upcoming playoffs will be nothing short of spectacular. We are witnessing the evolution of the league, where the talent level is higher than ever, and the stakes have never felt more personal. The beauty of basketball, and particularly Philippine basketball, is that it is never just about the numbers on the scoreboard. It is about the passion of the fans in the bleachers, the pride of the cities and companies the teams represent, and the incredible human stories of the athletes themselves. Jaylen Johnson's story is no longer just an import's journey, it is becoming a Philippine basketball story. And as we watch these incredibly talented candidates battle it out for the BPC and Best Import honors, we are reminded of why we love this game so fiercely. As we wrap up this extensive deep dive into the current state of the PBA, we have to look toward the horizon. The elimination round is in the books. The statistics are finalized. The award candidates have been named. But all of this, the numbers, the narratives, the media hype, it is all just prelude. It is the prologue to the main event, the PBA playoffs. This is where legacies are actually forged. You can win all the individual awards in the world, you can score 50 points in a meaningless mid-season game, but if you cannot deliver when the lights are brightest, when it is a win-or-go-home situation, the fans will remember. For Jaylen Johnson and the Rain or Shine Elasto Painters, the pressure is incredibly real. By declaring his intention to stay in the Philippines, Johnson has inherently raised the expectations. The fans will embrace him, they will love him, but they will also expect him to deliver championships. Coach Yeng Guiao has built a squad that is tough, resilient, and hungry. They have the twice-to-beat advantage, they have the momentum, and they have an import who is fighting for his adopted home. They are a dangerous, unpredictable force that no top seed wants to face. For the BPC candidates, the playoffs are the final proving ground. Mar Fajardo will look to add another piece of hardware to his impossibly crowded trophy case, proving once again that the big man is not dead in modern basketball. The dynamic guards and wings will try to prove that a new era has officially arrived. Every single possession in the playoffs will be scrutinized, analyzed, and debated. And for the best import race, the upcoming battles will be absolute theater. Will Bol Bol's unprecedented combination of size and skill be enough to overcome the physical, grinding defense of the PBA playoffs? Can he lead TNT back to the promised land? Or will the unparalleled experience, the supreme basketball intellect, and the clutch genes of Justin Brownlee guide Ginebra to yet another title? And how will Jaylen Johnson, the man who wants to call this country home, perform when the pressure is at its absolute zenith? These are the questions that will be answered in the coming weeks. The PBA is a league built on drama, on incredible comebacks, on heartbreaking defeats, and on the unyielding passion of its supporters. We are about to witness basketball at its most intense, its most physical, and its most beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredibly detailed journey through the breaking news and the intricate narratives of the Philippine Basketball Association. If you appreciate this level of deep, uncompromising analysis, if you love dissecting the game as much as I do, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below with your thoughts on Jaylen Johnson's move and your picks for the BPC and Best Import Awards, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a moment of the action. Until next time, keep watching, keep analyzing, and keep loving the game.